Hi.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher.
That is the rumor.
And, well, we're starting another week here. And this is going to be a roller coaster weather week for everybody within our viewing area.
First it'll get a little hot, then it'll get a little cold.
It's going to get real darn hot in along I-10 on Wednesday. It's going to be 76 degrees.
Wow.
And then it's going to drop again like a stone.
Hot, wet, and sloppy.
And we wonder why everybody...
Kind of like my ex-wife.
Yeah, I wonder how everybody with allergies is reacting to this. I know, because it's making mine crazy. There's not enough Zyrtec in the entire world right now.
Yeah, I went to one of those situations where you have to go in there and you have to put out your driver's license and ask for some decongestants. And can I please, Mr. Pharmacist, please have some decongestants? And the pharmacist says, let me check with the state and find out if you could have some decongestants. And then they check, oh, no, we're sorry, son. It hasn't been enough days since you bought your last decongestants.
And you're talking about Sudafed, of course.
Yeah, well, Claritin D, same difference.
Yeah, so Claritin is one drug, and it's got Sudafed mixed in it for decongestant.
Right, exactly.
The Claritin's an antihistamine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the brand. The preferred brand is Claritin D. And they said, well, we got plenty of Claritin over there. I need the decongestant, man.
Are you getting all stuffy?
Absolutely.
See, because I'm fortunate. I guess it's fortunate. I don't get the stuffy. So the antihistamine by itself works fine for me. I just get the sneezes and the runny nose and the watery eyes.
I get both. I get the stuffy, and then all of a sudden it'll open up, and then I'm sneezing like a maniac. It's like, oh, and it's like we're not even into spring yet. What the hell?
Oh no, we're not. But some of the plants think we're into spring because they're pollinating like crazy.
Hey, a real quick little breaking news this morning. I don't know if, like you, your device went off with an Amber Alert for 10-year-old girl missing in New Iberia.
Yes, in the middle of the night.
But she was found safe early this morning, according to New Iberia police. The search for 10-year-old Jalisa LaSalle was called off. She was located in St. Martin Parish, currently being medically evaluated. One subject is in custody, and it was, as we understand it, the man with the Nissan Altima, the silver Nissan Altima, the suspect vehicle. A man posted to Facebook claiming he found LaSalle and the suspect in a car near his sanitation route, which means it was a garbage man, sanitation worker. But police have not commented on how the girl was found exactly, but if she's alive and well and relatively unharmed, then all's well.
Well, it went off. I was in bed when it went off. And you know, the brief thing you get is the in New Iberia, and it's like, okay, it's midnight, and this is in New Iberia, and I'm not out on the road, so I'm probably not going to be able to eyeball a car for them unless they drive to the house and say, pardon me, sir, would you give me directions?
Yeah, I mean, there are times when an Amber Alert goes off where you just make note and go, well, I'm going to be little use here.
Is this the non-custodial parent taking the kid? Is this a family friend? Is this a flat-out abduction? What have you learned from looking at this?
I've learned absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing is known at this point. And the question is sometimes, will some reporter do a follow-up on this story for those of us that would like to know? Just so that we know if it was a flat-out abduction, I think it's important to know that, lest your kid be the next victim. If this was a disgruntled parent or something that didn't have custody, that's a completely different story, and your kid or your grandkid is not liable to be at risk.
Well, your kid's not going to be at risk if this is a flat-out abduction.
But if this guy's just some nut if he's some nut that grabs kids, your kid could be the next victim.
Well, no, he's going to be in jail without bond. Yeah. Trust me, they got him. But your kids are always a danger from nut jobs like
always.
This.
It's a shame. I mean, I remember when we were kids, we'd leave the house at 9 o'clock in the morning and not come home till the street lamps came on.
Well,
nowadays you don't have that luxury of letting your kid go, unprotected that long.
Yeah. Now, the authorities did release that she had last been seen getting into a gray four-door car, possibly a Nissan or a Honda, and this is a gray Nissan, right?
Yep.
With a registered sex offender by the name of Michael Surreal. Okay. Now, it doesn't say whether he was a relative, a friend of the family, had been hanging out.
He could have been Uncle Mike. He could have been Daddy. Or he could have been nobody that she knew.
Well, I every time I hear of a story like this, I think about the last guy executed in the state of Louisiana, who basically was a murderous pervert that mom brought into the house because she needed a boyfriend. And he ended up raping and murdering
His stepdaughter.
his stepdaughter. You know, again, one of these, what was that guy's name? The guy they put down?
Oh, give me a minute, I'll remember. Bordelon, Gerald Bordelon.
Yeah, this is your new Uncle Jerry.
The interesting thing about Bordelon is Bordelon and his attorney said, when he was found guilty, they said, no appeals. We would like to waive all right to appeal and proceed directly to execution. And it took a while, but Gerald Bordelon was the last man executed in Louisiana, and that's been, goodness, almost 20 years ago.
See, I don't get this. I really don't get people that will let a virtual stranger into their home with their teenage children because they feel they need to have a man around.
I've said this many, many times. You probably remember me saying it on our radio show, and I address it to women, and I'm going to look at the camera and say, ladies, it is far better that you are alone than you welcome a monster into your house with your children, just so you don't have to be alone. You know, so I don't know what else to say. You know, vet that guy, check him out, ask people about him before you bring him home to be around your kids.
And you know, this is the thing. I understand that a lot of these women have been marginalized. They have been victimized by not only their own lack of judgment, let's put it that way, but they've also been victimized by other men because they've left them with children and they've left the picture. But for God's sake, you know, if you have a suspicion that this guy is harming your kids, and you know what? You can pretty much tell. Either he's way too solicitous of your kids, which means he's probably grooming them for sexual abuse, or he's nasty to your kids, which means he's going to hurt one of them physically, or all of them physically. Don't make excuses for him. And if you're afraid of him, don't throw him out yourself. Call your brother, call your dad, call the sheriff, and get him out of your house. Don't wait until he raises a hand or worse to one of your kids. I have never understood this.
Well, this particular case looks like a happy ending. We don't know, what this child's condition is, but we hope she's well. Time for us to take our first break of the hour and take care of some business. A follow-up on a story from last week that's got a sad turn. We'll share that with you in just moments when Exiles returns.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Misery loves company. 'Cause misery
Hey, we're back with Exiles TV and a sad follow-up story to something that happened in late January on Wednesday night, January the 27th. Wee early in the morning, a single vehicle accident that caused a truck to go into a ditch in Sanama. 4 people were pulled from that truck by emergency workers. Luckily, somebody was there and saw what happened, and people got there and rescued 4 people from that truck as it was nearly submerged in water in the ditch. But the water has taken its toll. A mother and her 4-year-old child have succumbed to injuries that they sustained in that crash. Elena Duncan is the woman, 24 years of age. Her 4-year-old child died just a couple days after the crash, you may remember.
Yes.
But now she is the second victim of a crash that's nearly 2 weeks old. So these things are sad and terrible.
Submerged vehicle late at night. They were lucky anybody found them at all, that they all didn't die. Mm-hmm. But that's just a shame.
Seriously, it wasn't completely submerged, but it went down into the ditch and enough where there was plenty of water in the cab of the vehicle, and it was a terrible situation. And now 2 lives claimed as a result of that.
Well, I thought that we had made it through the weekend without a murder in East Baton Rouge Parish, but I was wrong. Zachary suddenly has become a shooting gallery. The quiet little town of Zachary, known largely for everybody knows everybody else, and having the #1 public school district in the state every other year. They trade off with, I believe, Livingston Parish on that, or Monroe. But they had a Sunday night shooting. It was in Zachary's Live Oak Trace community on Hidden Pass Drive. The coroner's report says that a 32-year-old, Kylan Givens, sustained multiple gunshot wounds before passing away. Details related to a motive and any possible suspects have not been released by Zachary PD. This again is a Sunday shooting in the quiet town of Zachary. So I'm sure that as they develop more leads, or if they need some help like with Crime Stoppers, we'll find out more. But a 32-year-old, multiple gunshot wounds.
Any idea what time of the evening this occurred? Was it late in the evening, early evening?
They're not even giving.
Was it after the Super Bowl? Was it pay up? I won?
I'm getting the impression that it was a broad daylight thing more in the afternoon. Which could have been a lot of drinking and eating junk food on the way up to the Super Bowl.
Are we allowed to say Super Bowl still, or do we have to call it the big game lest we get sued for copyright infringement?
Well, no, it's called the Super Bowl, and we're not using it to market any products, so I think we can call it the Super Bowl. I'm going to have some thoughts about that in a minute, but
yeah, I was going to ask about that, but let's finish up on this story first.
Well, here's the thing. We have talked about crime a lot because it's a big concern in our area, all over this area, from border to border in Louisiana, and basically, if you take a great big L and start at Shreveport and go down to I-10 and hit everything below that, everybody is having increased crime rates. Lake Charles, Lafayette, the river parishes, home of Thibodaux, the Baton Rouge area, the New Orleans area, all of it, having increased crime right now. And one of the things that we've talked about with our experts and amongst ourselves is fearing the spread of crime to areas that are normally immune. I would venture to say that the town of Zachary probably hasn't had 2 murders a year for the last 10 years, and now they've had 3 in 3 months.
Well, I think I follow which way you're going here. There used to be what we called the bad parts of town.
Yes.
And that was where crime occurred. Now we find out that this violent crime especially can occur anywhere. And, nobody is quote unquote safe. There are no safe parts of town.
Well, you also, you have a lot of things that enter into this. In that Zachary, like a lot of areas that are, and I mean, Zachary is adjacent to a high crime area. Part of Zachary's border is northern part of Plank Road. You can basically skip a rock into 70805 from the southern part of Zachary. And what you've got is you've got a proliferation of housing units as opposed to single-family houses that are growing in a lot of these quote-unquote suburban communities. And a lot of them also have, and I don't know if this is the case here, have a federally subsidized low-income housing certificate where a certain number of their units subsidize the housing for the occupants because of their income. Now, the occupants are generally not the problem in most of these cases, but their friends and acquaintances who come and visit with them and spend time with them can be. I don't want to have a blanket indictment here, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The spread of crime is related to the spread of people.
Yes.
And I mean, this is certainly not correct. But 30 years ago, the only low-income people who lived in Zachary or frequented Zachary were farmers that were having a bad year due to a crop blight. And then, of course, the Tuscaloosa trend ran right through most of the Zachary farmland, and they all became very, very wealthy almost overnight. You did not have one of the key components of violent crime that is born of either drug dealing or frustration or poor education and anger management. You did not have that bad income level. I mean, that has changed over the last 25 to 30 years in Zachary. Baker used to be demographically similar to Zachary when it came to income level and education and all that type of thing, employment. And over the last 30 years, Baker has fallen off that plateau, and they've gone the other way in terms of education, demography, economics, things of that nature. So who's to say if Baker, Zachary, I dare say places like Denham, St. Francisville, all of these well-moneyed, or at least mostly middle-class enclaves that are near the urban area that has its crime problem aren't going to start experiencing more and more of their own crime problem as the days and weeks and months and years go by.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, we're going to take another break here on Exiles TV. Bill watched the big game. Did you watch the big game? We'll talk about it next.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
So, we are broadcasting on television on the day after the Super Bowl. I think we are somehow obligated to talk about the big game.
The big game.
Bill, the big game.
Well, it was a really big game for Tom Brady and Tampa Bay. Some former LSU players on both sides, by the way, played extremely well.
Honey Badger.
My buddy Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, the smallest man in the NFL.
Are we not calling the Honey Badger anymore?
Wait, I'm getting to him. He played very, very well. He accounted for all but one of the first downs on the ground for Kansas City. However, if you took his yardage and then you calculated against all the yardage Patrick Mahomes was running backwards to get away from the unrelenting pursuit of the Tampa Bay defense, it would have been a small fraction. I believe, seriously, that in the third and fourth quarter alone, Patrick Mahomes probably ran 200 yards in the aggregate from the line of scrimmage trying to get away from these guys. He didn't have his normal linemen in place. They were out. And these guys just ran right over the line. Leonard Fournette was a standout for Tampa Bay. He caught 3 or 4 passes, one of them for a touchdown. He had some wonderful yards running. Devin White was a standout on defense for Tampa Bay. Tyrann Mathieu on the other side of the ball for Kansas City. There was so much coming at him. I think he played a good game, but there wasn't much that he could do. Brady just picked that defense apart. And then, in my opinion, Kansas City lost the game about 3:40 into the first quarter, where they started losing their heads and getting penalties that were not necessary because they were frustrated. When they started missing assignments and yelling at each other on the field, their wheels came off with about 45 minutes of the game, well, more than 45 minutes of the game left to play. I mean, stupid penalties. Like getting called for pass interference near the goal line, and then, going to make it worse, you're going to yell and scream and slap one of the other defenders on the helmet. They were holding their defensive backfield, and they're known for kind of getting real close to the rules, holding. You know, they'll do one of these where it's kind of a half grab.
Little pushy, touchy, shove off kind of thing.
They had 3 plays in one series where they got called for holding. And as the camera showed later when they were talking about it, they were holding, the defensive back on each side of the field was holding his man. Now, they only called it on one, the one on the side where the ball went, but in each of these occasions, they were holding on both sides of the field. And Mahomes, I got to tell you now, he threw laying on his back, and he threw it like an arrow. Of course, the receiver didn't think there was going to be a ball coming, so it caught him in the face mask. You know, but this guy can throw overhand, sidearm, underhand. He just had to run. He ran at least a half marathon trying to get away from the defenders throughout that entire game.
That's interesting.
It was terrible if you're a Chiefs fan. It was it was really nice if you were a Brady fan. Brady just went in there and very meticulously went about his business.
He did his Tom Brady thing.
Didn't have many mistakes. Now, I've never seen Brady overthrow the receiver 3 times in one game. Maybe, you know, being 43 and knowing you're going to win anyway had something to do with it. But he overthrew.
No, wait a minute. Knowing you're going to win anyway?
Well, yeah, they were so far ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. By that point in the game, you're saying. Not like going into the game, it's like, I'm gonna win this.
And I could have taken a Pop Warner first-year football coach from the field in Bruley and put him in those stands and said, as I said, about 3:40 or so into the first quarter, think Kansas City's going to win? Nope. They're in their heads. It's over. It was so damned every time they got the offense moving, somebody would commit a damned stupid penalty. Not a penalty to save a touchdown or anything like that. Somebody would commit a really, really stupid penalty. Now, they had one moment of brilliance. They stopped Tampa Bay at the 2-yard line. They were going to try to run it in. It was 4th down. They were ahead by enough to where they could be okay. They stopped them there. They managed to get the ball out of the end zone then when they took it over on downs. And I believe it was Clyde Edwards-Hilaire who ran about 16 yards with it to get him some decent position. They were around the 11th because they started 3 yards into the end zone. The ball was at the 2. And then what do? They throw a 4-yard interception. Pink. If you want to say it was ugly, what's worse than ugly? Butt ugly?
How about boring?
Homely?
The worst of Super Bowl game could possibly be as boring.
Well, it wasn't boring.
When they're blowouts, they're dull.
It wasn't boring because the mistakes made for good television. But I mean, this was like so ugly, you would have to tie a pork chop around their neck to get a dog to play with them. Ugly. It was just, it looked like LSU's 3rd game of this past season.
Okay. Now,
it was ugly.
I have questions because, admittedly, I did not watch a game. As a matter of fact, I haven't watched 90 seconds of NFL the entire season. I'm one of those guys. I never had much time for pro football anyway, so it wasn't a big sacrifice for me to go, screw it, not watching this. I was, however, watching social media, and people are saying, this is the most disrespectful national anthem I have ever seen. What was disrespectful about it?
Well, I believe it's Chris Stapleton and another singer, an R&B singer, and I know her name, but I'm sorry I can't recall it. They did a duet, and he did it strictly.
A duet of the national anthem?
Well, they traded verses.
Okay.
And then they came together at the end, and he did the accompaniment. There was no big band, no big build-up, just on his guitar.
Okay.
And it's not like they took liberties, but it just kind of dragged, and he had trouble with some of the high notes. I mean, it's not like Roseanne doing the national anthem. But I think when you're doing the national anthem at a big game like this, that you should have the big, huge band, with the big horn section, and play it straight. One person sing all the words in the proper order.
For my money, I'd prefer that they didn't make it a hype event. Play a recording of the U.S. Marine Corps band playing the national anthem. And, forget the singing and, having someone, bust their hump while trying to go, and the Rockets! Play a musical version.
She got that because she had enough range.
Let the audience sing along. It's a hard to sing song as it is.
It's
I don't know, it's a terrible song to try to sing. And I don't like when we have, I'm going to say it, I don't like when we have the Whitney Houstons of the world that decide, let me show you what I can do with vocal acrobatics. I don't like when people undersing it either. It's like, it's a pretty straight up melody. It's got one really bad high note. Just
It's a bad
suck it up and
high phrase. Now I'll tell you who I think
suck it up and do it straight.
who I think did it best years and years ago, and a lot of people started doing this, and I don't know why it fell out of favor, but LSU basketball, they would have open auditions to sing the national anthem. And you had to actually really be able to sing the anthem or you would get turned down. And I mean, they had people from the athletic department, people from the music faculty. They played the track. You sang it over the PA system. I'm sorry, Mr. Gallagher. Not quite there, but thank you for coming. And they had some really, really good singers, but they all sang to the same track, the standard pacing, the standard backup, the standard key. And a lot of stadiums across the country started doing that. And then it became a goof. Let's see what celebrity we can get to screech the national anthem.
Right. It became an event. And we have halftime for that. So, speaking of halftime, this is my second question. I've seen photos of men that looked like they had underpants on their heads dancing around. What is that all about?
Well, that was the finale act.
They looked like they had tighty whities on their heads.
Well, it was actually supposed to be kind of bandages, and there's something in the song that relates to that. I don't know. The audio was so terrible coming off the field for both the national anthem and then for the halftime performance. To my ear, it sounded like they were only getting one channel, that they weren't getting left and right into the feed that went to the television. It was very, very thin. This guy has had one big song. He saved that for the finale, and he's out there with about 40 people that are all wearing this bandage type of thing. I had no idea why. I didn't care. I only watched the halftime show because I'm too lazy to change the channel to another channel for 30 minutes, and that's when I go and get my food and take my potty breaks. But it was, I would not call it a good halftime show.
So, bottom line, Brady out. I mean, is he going to retire? He's got, he's proved that he takes the Super Bowl magic with him from team to team. He's 43 years of age.
I think
he's losing his hair.
I think he and Drew are like...
Is it time for him and Drew to both consider retirement?
So, look, it didn't work out so well for you in the playoffs. I won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. I got Gronk to come out. What do you say? You going to hang it up? I will if you will. Talk to me, Drew. And Drew was like, well, even if I stay, I'm going to take a pay cut to help them with their salary cap. I haven't decided yet, which tells me Drew has decided he's going to stay. And Brady.
If anybody can afford to take a pay cut, it's him. He lives on a house built on top of a mound of cash.
Brady took a high-speed sack early in the third quarter. That was and I mean the guy that hit him,
300-pounder.
Yeah, and he had help. And he popped up like, yeah, that all you got? If he can take those kind of hits and still throw the ball, why not? Why not go with this team and bring them to the playoffs again?
See, a mutual friend of ours, and I'll mention him by name, Darren Gaucher. Darren, I saw a post where he mused that Brady is setting records that Patrick Mahomes will no doubt go on to break, because Mahomes has got that kind of talent. It's just not his time yet.
Well, they better get him a line if they want him to do that. But see, now Brady has now won 8 Super Bowls, and they were talking about that last night. That if Mahomes won last year, if they had won this year, he might be able to catch Brady. But I mean, the last time we had back-to-back Super Bowl winners, 1992.
Wow.
Okay.
1992. Who would that have been?
Oh, I think it was. I think it might have actually been New England, but I'm not sure, or the Cowboys maybe. But
Dallas. That was going to be my guess.
But Brady, Brady has every record there is now. In fact, he and Gronk set the record for the most pitch and catch touchdowns in the Super Bowl last night. So it was an upsetting game to watch because they really ran all over Patrick Mahomes, and you could tell it was because he was not getting any protection up front at all. And they double teamed his favorite receiver 95% of the night. They would not let him go long. They'd give him a short pass, 8 or 9 yards from the line of scrimmage. They'd give him that. But every time Kelsey tried to break one, 2 guys on him. 2.
Funniest thing I saw on social media early this morning was mail-in touchdowns have now been counted, and Kansas City won by 9 points.
Yeah.
That's it. They've won the Super Bowl. Get over it. Don't say any different.
No, they didn't. And it was ugly.
Time to take another quick break. We're going to take care of more business and talk some more trash next on Exiles.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent.
Depend on us for service, for selection, for price.
Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
I owed the IRS $10,000. The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back, Exiles
Okay,
TV.
Super Bowl. What's the big thing with the Super Bowl? People talk about the ads.
The commercials.
Now, I have been able to look at some of the ads on sources like YouTube and stuff like that before we did the program this morning, and I saw a couple that were interesting. But in my opinion, from what I saw, there was no big wham, knock 'em out. God, I can't believe it. Did you see that ad, Super Bowl ad?
They had one, and in my opinion, they missed the punchline. So they've got flat Matthew McConaughey, and it's a long ad. It's a 60. And he is like one-dimensional. He's very thin. He says, I've just been feeling flat lately. And his assistant says, you got that call with so-and-so? Oh, yeah. And he's walking his dog, and the wind lifts him up, and the dog anchors him to the ground because he's flat, okay? And he's on a late-night talk show, and they say, well, did you drive over, or did you come through the fax machine? Ha ha ha. And he's like, I don't know what it is. I feel flat. And he passes a Doritos 3D vending machine.
Okay.
This is their new product. So he's so flat, he can get inside the machine.
Okay.
And he opens up the bag, and he eats a 3D Dorito, and all of a sudden, he is himself again.
Uh-huh.
Only he's trapped inside the machine.
Oops.
Face up against the glass.
Oops.
And that's where they leave it. Now, if they had just, as he had gotten to be himself, if he had just gone, all right, I think it would have been a better cell line. Instead, you got him trapped in the Doritos machine with his dog outside. There were a lot of commercials that just, why? Wayne's World reuniting for Uber Eats.
Saw that.
Could it have been any more painful to watch?
Michael Myers just looks so tired out in that. It's like, got to be the first time he's put on the Wayne's World stuff in, 25 years?
Yeah. And I mean, it was awful. If I were thinking about
Dana
ordering,
Carvey had a look on his face, was like, someone please shoot me now.
Yeah.
And can I have my paycheck?
He also looked like, Tootsie version 5. I mean, he's got enough lines on his face to be a geography textbook. But if I were going to order something from Uber Eats, I would not have done it. The sexy Alexa was kind of funny. Where they've got a new Alexa that's round.
Yes. It's, the shape. Everybody's
the shape.
cooing and gooing over the shape of the Alexa.
And they got Michael B. Jordan coming in as the voice of Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming alive in this one woman's fantasies. And she's saying, Alexa, turn out the lights. And her husband's going, no, don't turn them out, don't turn them out. And she ends up sitting in a bathtub with Michael B. Jordan. And all of a sudden she wakes up from her dreams and she's in her kitchen.
Now, one I only saw the beginning of, and then I had to get away from the computer, but it was like Will Ferrell and Kenan Thompson and some other actress, and it was about electric vehicles, they were doing some kind of cross-country road rally.
Well, it started,
but it's like you're talking about electric vehicles that can't go cross-country.
You missed the whole premise. He's sitting there and he says, Norway makes more electric vehicles than the United States. He's like, we're going. And he goes and he gets Keenan and a couple other people, and they're going to go to Norway. And he's talking about this new battery that GM has made that will go, 1,000 miles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got to go to Norway. We're going to crush them. We're going to do it for the good old USA. And he gets there, and he gets out of his car. He's like, wow, this is really, really cute. I was expecting Norway not to be so pretty. And this woman comes up, you think you're in Norway? You're in Sweden. And he's like, yeah.
Sweden.
Yeah. So that was kind of a cute commercial.
Great new battery. Do they show you the strip mining necessary to make the great new battery?
No, they didn't show that.
That gives you that nice electric car that's so friendly to the environment?
No, they didn't show that.
No, they don't show that.
Cheetos did a cute commercial. They took Shaggy, and they actually put him in the commercial. And it wasn't me. It wasn't
Shaggy
me.
from Scooby-Doo?
No, the singer Shaggy.
Oh,
he got it wasn't me.
Sorry.
It wasn't me.
Sorry.
But Ashton Kutcher.
I'm an old fart. I don't pay any attention to these things.
Well, Ashton Kutcher is looking for his Cheetos. And Mila Kunis has got, orange all over her face. And he's like, did you take my Cheetos again? And you hear her go, it wasn't me. And they start the soundtrack.
Gotcha.
And he's tracking her all over the house. And you get to the end. And she's hiding in the laundry room. And she's got the bag of Cheetos. And Shaggy comes up and taps him on the shoulder and just shakes his head. And Mila Kunis goes, run me. And he's like, okay. And they do the cell line for Cheetos. But it was, the editing and all that was very, very, very well done. And then Michelob, Bud Light. They brought the Bud Light superheroes back. They're Avengers. And it was... it was okay. They have a crashed Bud Light truck, and the beer is all over. And so they call the Bud Light night, the Dilly Dilly guy, and he gets all the superheroes that have made cameos, and they put the truck back on its side, and they gather all the beer, and they put it all back in, and it makes it to the cooler just as the consumer who said, "Oh, where's the Bud Light?" It just slides under her hand, and it was okay, but it wasn't terrific. They did a Stella Artois commercial with Lenny Kravitz.
Well, I like Lenny Kravitz.
And he said, "We're all born with 2.5 billion heartbeats. That makes you a billionaire. So let's not waste the fortune within us."
What's that got to do with beer?
I have no idea. That's what I said. I don't get it. Sam Adams did a thing where they had the Clydesdales, the Budweiser Clydesdales, basically careening through Boston, and it was kind of funny. And then Pringles had astronauts that were stranded. This was probably the funniest commercial. So they got an Apollo capsule, and it's bobbing in the ocean, and they got the 3 flotation balloons, and there's 2 astronauts, and the one astronaut is like, "Well, our recovery vehicles have to be close," and so the one astronaut is like, "Houston, we're down, waiting on rescue, please advise, we're down," and everybody in Houston has got their backs turned to the big screen. We have big screens in front of us, so backs turned, and they're like, the jalapeno Pringle and the bacon Pringle and the ranch. So it's a jalapeno ranch bacon stacker. And they're all doing this, and the astronauts are going, "Hello," and holding up signs, "No audio, we're down, can you hear us?" And so they cut to the next scene. It's a couple days later, and they're eating something out of little tin cans. They're sitting on top of the capsule. And it's like, "We're saved, we're saved." And you see this big old cargo ship coming. And of course, the people on the bridge of the cargo ship, in badly accented English, are, stacking Pringles, and they just
Pringles.
keep going on by. And it was actually a pretty funny commercial, because you knew what was going to happen.
I have also read people's comments that a lot of the commercials were trying to reinforce that woke-de-woke, unity type of vibe.
There was a Ford commercial that basically was just kind of like, get back to work, live strong, let's remember we're all in this together, let's, Indeed.
Live strong. They didn't have Sam Elliott doing a voiceover.
No, they didn't. Indeed did, and of course they're the big recruiting firm. They did, it was a very, very serious commercial about, we're here to help. We know it's been tough on everybody. We know a lot of people are out of work, and they had a really dramatic music track, and it bored me to death. Yeah, I mean, it just bored me to death.
There you go.
And then TurboTax did 3 spots, and they were all about tax loopholes. They were kind of funny because, have you seen where they got the accountant that, he's got his kind of desk that goes everywhere, the flying desk, and he's on the monitor?
Yeah, that's a different tax service.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe it is TurboTax. Yeah, it is TurboTax.
Yeah. And it's like, in Hawaii, there's a deduction for having a well-maintained historical tree. And they go through all these really cool tax deductions, and it was just interesting and funny to watch. And it was very, very well acted. So that's pretty much where we were on the Super Bowl commercials. Well, not their best year.
That is definitely what I'm seeing on social media. Is not a great year for Super Bowl commercials, nor for football fans, nor for fans of popular music, because CNN's audio chain so messed up the halftime broadcast.
CBS's.
What did I say?
CNN, yeah.
CBS. They so horribly messed up the audio that nobody could enjoy the halftime performance.
There was one really good one that resonated, and I mean, these people bought an expensive spot. WeatherTech, the people who make bed liners for trucks and floor mats, and they said, we're not coming back to America. And it shows their manufacturing process, and you're starting getting hints. We're not coming back to America. And they talk about their products and how they stand the test of time. And finally, this very, very pleasant executive a female. She said, "We're not coming back to America because we've never left. We have always made WeatherTech in the United States, and we always will." And
America.
And it was one of those, all right, good commercial.
America.
Had me. You really had me. I'm thinking, who's stupid enough to say they're not coming back to America? And then it's like, we're not coming back because we never left.
You. Speaking of good commercials, here comes some, and we'll be right back and wrap things up on Exiles TV.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hey, we're back. It's Exiles TV, and really just enough time for you to say, for us to say thank you very much for watching the program today, and hope you'll be with us throughout the week.
So you mentioned something. They cover this every year, particularly at WBRZ and the Advocate. Again, the pink flamingos are
Pink flamingos are
City
back in the
Park
LSU lakes.
And I have seen a couple of signs for what's called Yardy Gras.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the crews have, if you want to put a yard sign in, say Yardy Gras.
A lot of the homes down in the Spanish Town neighborhood have decorated themselves up so that you can drive by and try and get a reverse parade vibe as you drive down the street and enjoy the decor on either side of you.
I gotta tell you, I don't think that would do it for me.
To me, it's just like, just call it off. Everybody just call it off. Just relax.
And think of the Chicago
Stay home.
Cubs. Wait till next year.
Wait till next year.
Be like the Cubs. Next year is going to be our year. I I think it's sad. One of the crews, I can't remember if it was Orion or Artemis. I think it was Artemis. But, driving down a neighborhood and, there's, when you're in this curve, you can see about 60 houses.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one house that's got their Mardi Gras sign, and everybody else doesn't. And it's like, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. It ain't going to happen. Folks, we need to face reality. Not going to happen. My advice, be like the Cubs, win next year.
Down in New Orleans, some parade crews put some of their very expensive, like the Cajun Gator float and stuff like that, some of the more famous New Orleans Mardi Gras floats on display along City Park.
Oh yeah, it caused a major traffic jam too at rush hour on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's really been, people have been enjoying it, but also cursing it as well because it's an impediment to traffic.
What is there to enjoy?
Oh, it's so you can say you did something Mardi Gras. There are people that just don't feel right unless they do something Mardi Gras.
Go to your room, go to that special channel on HBO Real Deep In and do something special. This is starting to fall into public nuisance, okay?
Well, I understand the feeling. They look forward to it every year and they can't really do it, so they must do something. So I kind of feel how I'm feeling them on it.
Wetting your pants in a dark suit. You get a nice warm feeling all over, but nobody really notices.
Happy Mardi Gras.
That does it for us today. Clarence Buggs is coming up next.
And that's it. God bless you. Take care.
Bye-bye.